to still be working with fractions today. We are going to be decomposing fractions, which just means breaking them down. And we're dealing with whole numbers. All this week we've been dealing with fractions that equal whole numbers or fractions greater than a whole. So our directions say partition. Partition just means break apart the number line to show the fractional units. Then draw number bonds with copies of one whole for the circled whole numbers. That's hard to understand, but once I explain it, you'll see that it's super easy. So our first one here says sixth. So the first thing we need to do is partition the number line or break the number line up into sixth. So one, two, three, four, five, six. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just making sure I split it apart correctly. Okay, so we know that 0 would be 0 sixth. And then this would be 1 sixth. Let me change my color. 1 sixth, 2 sixths, 3 sixths, 4 sixths, 5 sixths, 6 sixths. So 1 is equal to 6 sixths, which we've been going over this, so you probably already knew that 1 was equal to 6 sixths. Now we need to get to 2 and figure out what fraction 2 is equal to. So 6 sixths, 7 sixths, 8 sixths, 9 sixths, 10 sixths, 11 sixths, 12 sixths. So that's 12 sixths. So we've partitioned the number line, which was the first thing they asked us to do. And now we need to draw number bonds with copies of one whole. So thinking of 0 is equal to how many sixths? If you cut 0 into 6 pieces, how much would each piece be worth? You have no money at all. And you split that money into 6 pieces. How much money do you have? Well, you still have no money. So it's 0 sixth. 0 sixth. 0 is going to always be equal to 0 over whatever it's broken down into, whatever the fractional or whatever the denominator is, whatever the number of pieces is. So 1 is equal to how many sixths? Well, we already figured that out up here. Change my color back to black. We figured that out up here, that 1 is equal to 6 sixths. But now we need to do our number bond. They want us to do our number bond using one whole. So one whole is equal to 6 sixths. We already figured that out right here, that one whole is equal to 6 sixths. So this is all our number bond needs to be for 1. It's just because one whole is equal to 6 sixths. So it's already, you just need one piece of it. So 2 is equal to how many sixths? We figured that out up here. So 2 is equal to 12 sixths. And if you look, we have broken it down because the whole number is 2. This is one whole on the number line. 6 sixths is equal to one whole. And this is one whole. So we have one whole and one whole, which equals 2. Let's come down here. The first thing we need to do is partition our number line. So we're working with fifths now. So we're going to have to draw 4 lines. So I want you to notice also that we're starting at 2. We're not starting at 0 like normal. If you don't automatically know what 2 fifths or how many fifths is equal to 2 wholes, just draw the beginning of the number line on another sheet of paper. So this is going to be 0, this is going to be 1, and this is going to be 2. And then I'm just going to break it down into fifths. So, and then I can count them out. Let's make 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I broke them down incorrectly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now it's right. Okay, so 0 is just 0. That's 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, 5 fifths. So 1 is equal to 5 fifths. 6/5, 7/5, 8/5, 9/5, 10/5. 2 is equal to 10/5. So then we're just going to bring that up here. We know that 2 is equal to, not 10 over 2, it's 10/5, sorry. Come on, thing. There we go. 10/5. So then we can move on to 1, 2, 3. I broke that into fourths. What was I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I did that one as well. So I just had to add it. I made, and then I didn't draw my number line correctly. But anyway, so now that we're at 10/5, we can count up until we get to the whole number 3 to see what is supposed to be there. So we're at 10/5, 11/5, 12/5, 13/5, 14/5, 15/5. Let's keep going. 16/5, 17/5, 18/5, 19/5, 20/5. So we've partitioned our number line. Now we need to do our number bond. 2 is equal to how many fifths? If you look up here on our number line, 2 is equal to 10/5. So we need to partition this off into wholes. So one whole is 5/5 and 5/5. So this is one whole and this is one whole, and it equals 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Let's move on to 3. How many fifths are in 3? Well, 15. We have 3. Our whole number is 3 here, so we're going to have 3 wholes. So a whole, in this case, because we're using fifths, is 5/5. 5/5. 5/5. Oops, excuse me. 5/5. You might be noticing a pattern by now. What is 5 times 2? Oh, it's 10. What's 5 times 3? It's 15. What's 5 times 4? It's 20. All right, let's get back to what we have been doing. I'm just trying to show you the pattern there real quick. 4 equals how many fifths? Well, 4 equals 20 fifths. How many wholes is there? Well, there's 4 wholes. 4 whole, when I say wholes, I'm talking like whole pieces, whole numbers. And since we're breaking it down into fifths, each one of these is 5/5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's your wholes. Let's look at the next sheet you're going to be doing. Give me just a second. Take me a minute to get there. Okay. Pull that up quick. Okay, so this is essentially the same thing that we did on the last page. It's just a chart instead of number bonds. So write the fractions that name the whole numbers for each fractional unit. The first one has been done for you. So we're basically looking for the whole number of 2, the whole number of 3, and the whole number of 4. And the first one, we're breaking it into thirds. So if we broke this number line into thirds, and since we don't have the first part of it, we can just draw it down here. 0, 1, 2. Break it into thirds to help us count. So this is 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. So 1 is equal to 3 over 3. 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. 6/3. So we're starting up here with 6/3. And you'll see that's what's on this line. 7/3, 8/3, 9/3. And that's what's here. 10/3, 11/3, 12/3. That's what's here. Notice 2 times 3 is 6. The whole number times the number of times it's the number of pieces gives us the numerator. 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 3 equals 12. Do you see the pattern here? So erase that to get rid of our mess and come back over here. So we're breaking it into sevenths now. We have a 2 here, our 3 here, our 4 here. So our denominator is going to be 7 for each one, because you can see for the first one, it's 3, 3, 3 because we're breaking it into thirds. For sevenths, it's 7, 7, 7. So 7 times 2 is what? 14. That's your numerator. 7 times 3 is what? 21. That's your numerator. 7 times 4 is what? 28. There's your numerator. Now we're breaking this one into eighths. So what's our denominator going to be? If we're breaking it into 8 pieces, it's going to be 8. 8 times 2 is 16. There's your numerator. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. Tenths. So what's our denominator going to be if we're breaking it into tenths? It's going to be 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4 is 40. So I think you're definitely seeing the pattern now. So for your form today, you're going to have to complete one of these charts. If you have any issues or trouble, come back and watch this part of the video again, and hopefully it can help you out. If not, I'm here to help you. Just let me know if you need help.